Speaking of fads and the next best thing, I know you've got quite a bit of an issue with intermittent fasting and fad diets. Can you explain why?
So fad diets, and like all that type of stuff. I go in on them. Intermittent fasting, I'm not necessarily against. Intermittent fasting is something that I tried. I tried keto. I've tried everything. Like I like to try everything. You know what I mean? We'll jump into keto, but first, intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting is great for a lot of people, but I'd say for probably about like 90% of the population, that that like 16 to 20 hour window of not eating is not good. You know what I mean? Some people call intermittent fasting like, oh, I did a 12-hour fast. Like, you just went to sleep. You stopped eating at 8 o'clock, and then you woke up and you ate breakfast. I don't look at that as intermittent fasting. I look at like 4 p.m. you start eating, and then you eat till 8 p.m., and then you don't eat again till 4 p.m. the next day. That is where I see like a lot of disordered things happening. It's very hard to stick with something like that. I tried that, and I did it for a few months, and I was like, this is awesome. But then slowly but surely, it turned into a binge eating fest. I would eat my breakfast, my lit lunch, my dinner, my snacks all at once. And it was like, you ever see those like Asian YouTubes of like mukbang? They're just like stuffing. That's how I felt. And at the end of the night, I told you, like, I'm like 8% body fat. I'd be like so bloated because I just ate like 3,000 calories of garbage. And your body isn't even supposed to eat all your calories all at once. You know what I mean? Like, that's not good for your gut. And anyway, I find it makes it like very disordered way of eating. Like I said, some people it works for, a lot of people it doesn't work for. And it just leads into that binge restriction cycle, which just creates more problems because then that's a whole other thing they have to deal with. So I did that for a long time, and it was hard for me to get out of that. You know what I mean? And I remember the steps that I took to get out of that. I remember drinking bone broth for lunch for a few weeks. And then I started drinking my bone broth for breakfast and having eggs for lunch. But that was like a hard thing for me to get out of. And so when you see people saying, oh, just intermittent fast, you're like, especially coaches, like promoting it, like, you don't know this person. Like, if you need to kind of know like a little bit about this person. This person has any type of eating disorder or binge eating, like, they're not the one to intermittent fast. You know what I mean? And keto, I could never get behind keto. I'm okay with low carb. Like, if you're trying to lose weight, like, you should probably cut out like most of your carbs because you need your protein and you need your fat to survive. But completely restricting your carbs, it's just not something that I could really get behind. Like the whole butter and coffee thing, like, I was never like a big fan of that. You know what I mean?
I don't know what that is.
There's like a big thing, bulletproof coffee. A lot of people swear by it, especially here. There's a lot of charlatans out there who have been in the fitness space for a very long time that are online. They've written books, and fitness information changes. Like the carnivore MD, the guy that like started this whole carnivore diet for the most part, recently came out and said how bad it is. It's just very interesting to see the blowback on everything. You know what I mean? And I just think with intermittent fasting, especially, it's not for everybody. If you have any type of eating disorder, if you have any type of issue with food, you should not be intermittent fasting.
Speaking from my personal experience, I actually did a 22-hour intermittent fasting for a week, and I know exactly what you mean when it came to the binge eating. That 2 hour window, I was just a pig.
Exactly. Like how much food can I stuff in my mouth? And like, I don't even know I was chewing my food at the time because it was like, oh my God, what's the ice cream? Oh, I better get like the ice cream out. Like, oh, and I was eating like sleeves of cookies, and it wasn't, and no, that was like a personal thing probably too. Cause like the first few months I was on point. I was doing it great. I would still eat my breakfast, my lunch, and my dinner, but then it just turned into like eating crap. I would still eat, decently, but I would eat so much more crap, Not that there's anything wrong with that, but if you got goals, being bloated for the next 14 hours, and then you're like, because then you get in that mindset, oh, I'm just not going to eat till 4 o'clock the next day,
Yeah, then I did that once, and I did this successfully. I ate too much one day, and I said I'm not eating till 4 o'clock. But then you're kind of like when this is 4 o'clock. Oh, it's 4 o'clock.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.